You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death. Welcome.
Justice for Shanth. Shanth is streaming over me. He knows the rules. 1:30 a.m. I asked the question, what time is it? Thank you, Towering Odercunt. It's 8:30 in Italy. How are you all feeling tonight? Ryan Blue Thunder says, Ethan may be drunk, but he's in my shit house right now. What did Ethan do, Ryan? What's the problem? Welcome. We are going to do a flatting stream because flatting streams are the most exciting in all. Well, I'm just going to leave it there. Why don't I just say hello to the chat? I'll say hello to Towering Odercunt, Jav Styler. Guten Abend, Jav Styler. Hyper Wizard. Towering Odercunt says, Bancroft, how dare you not be in my time zone? I just got home from work. Grabbed a Slurpee. Grabbed a Curly Whirly. Ready to get into some flatting. Join me in hell, says Alphonse. Oh, Bancroft's drawing London. Yeah. How's your father? Says, double-decker buses, just like in Harry Potter. We got Val Schnitzel, Creators Outlets here. Heavy Merlin. Skip is here. Heavy Merlin says, why am I still green? Well, it's probably because someone gifted you a membership. You're welcome. You should probably thank D or Sumo or Jim or any one of the many, many super generous super bogans that we have. Paulus Arts is here. Ray's here. He's drunk. Fair enough. That's what happens on election day, isn't it? How's your father? Says, I predicted a blue wave and no one believed me. Was there a blue wave? I haven't been paying too much attention to the goings-ons in the US. But that's my prerogative, being an Australian. Jason Smoot for 10. Just wanted to say thank you for the stream. Thank you for all you drunk MFers. Well, I won't be drinking, but if you're in the chat, probably best to start drinking now. Look at this color palette. Probably best to start drinking now. D says, I've seen this before. Was high on balls on shrooms. I'm drawing it in this color palette, so it's easy for me to discern things. That's why it looks like this. Jeremy Burt said earlier this is giving him a headache, I think. No blue wave, just a stalemate, which makes you want to move to Mexico. Well, that's what happens. That's what happens. Hopefully, Emma says, hey, cool Technicolor place. Oh, hold on. Hold up. D, the legend, has gifted 5 memberships. Welcome, Paulus Arts, Ryan Blue Thunder, Jeremy Burtz is already one of them. Aviator Surge, Crafty Gamer Nerd, and M&M. Thank you so much, D. I'm going to say cheers to you in the only way that Chopper's father can.
Well, cheers, big ears.
Jason Smoot again for 10. Thank you so much. The generosity already in the chat. We're only 5 minutes in. Is just overwhelming. He says this palette Oh no. Well, don't you worry. It's not going to stay like this forever. But it does look kind of cool. A lot of people saying, I really like the look of this. This is just the flats. Just the flats. Skip says 4 colors is enough. Look at all the valuable comics for the proof. Yeah, that was Eric Bana. Yes, Alphonse. That was his big breakout film role where he cemented himself as an acting legend. Deed does like the look of it. Yeah, it reminds me of my copy of The Watchmen that I've got. It's colored a bit like this. But unfortunately, this won't really fit the Lucent pastiche. Is that a word? Let me. Sometimes I just say a word. I don't know if I'm right. Pastiche, noun, an artistic work in a style that imitates the work of another artist or period. An artistic work consisting of a medley of pieces imitating various sources. Not quite right. Not really the word I was looking for. Who said it was like Zach? A lot of people. Donald DeLay said that. But it's okay. That's okay. Can you all hear my aircon in the background? If you can, I'll turn it off. I don't want to annoy you all. But essentially now we're getting down to the business of just coloring in. Because that is what comic books is all about. Coloring in things. But in the meantime, I will be looking at the chat. I won't be pulling them up because hold on a sec. I forgot to turn on my red light and I hear a child trying to enter the room. I need to turn on my red outdoor light that informs him that I'm streaming. I'm new to this. All right, that's on, I think. Good. All right. Coloring in and tracing, says Alphonse, the two pillars upon which modern comic books are created. I'm down with it. Whatever gets it done. Actually, Kelsey was on the show the other day, and he pointed out to me, yeah, you're like, what's his face? Dennis? What's his name? I can't remember. In that you just want to tell the story first, and you're not really here for the art. To which I agreed. Of course. We are, of course, live on simulcast on Rumble, and I see Jeremy Burtz is over there. Hello, Jeremy Burtz, along with 6 others. If you do want to jump over onto Rumble and support me over there, we've got 328 subscribers over there already. Let me post the link in the chat for you. Some of you might want to go there. I'll pin it. How about that? Pin message. Ryan Blue says, herein goes the bogan, does the $4.99 of all comics. I'm not against this color palette for a comic per se. It has to be the right comic. It does have a very visual look to it, and it certainly caught a lot of people's attention. I posted this as a joke on Twitter this morning before going to work, saying I'm taking comic book coloring in bold new directions, and it got over 100 likes, which was surprising. I hope they were liking the composition and layout, the bending of the perspective and everything. I don't know if that. I mean, some people do like the palette, but it's just not. It's not for Lucent. It's not right for the Lucent. I'm more of a blue-green guy. You know that. Ryan says, we all know this was a $4.99 riff. A lot of people flat in weird colors. It's just the done thing. Because it makes it easy to see where you've gone outside the lines, as it were. and I get a bit OCD when it comes to going outside the lines. Believe it or not, a little bit draughtist, if you can fathom it. I do like to have very clean files. Like if I turn this off, you can see I don't like to have any missing pixels. If I find a missing pixel in here, I'm going to delete it. Like even this is a bit, I don't like this. What's happening here? I don't want it. HyperWizard asks, how did I create the bend effect? Well, I started with an existing piece of artwork that I had, which is from Waking Dream. This is for the cover of the reprint of Waking Dream. So I started with an existing page that I had, and I thought, you know what would be cool if it resembled the piece that I'm doing for Painted Death, where you've got the wave that comes up, because that shape, it's like a chalice. It's very symbolic, you see, and it's also reflected on another page in Waking Dream. So I thought that would be cool, and it's a bit like that. You know that scene in The Matrix when Neo goes like that and all the walls go out? Something like that. So thankfully, Photoshop and both Clip Studio Paint have a mesh transform. You could do this in Clip Studio Paint by setting up a 1-point perspective ruler and then having a concentric circle thing for the vertical lines. I didn't do that. I just warped it, which was a bit cooler. It actually made sense for this because I didn't want it to look necessarily like a fisheye. I want it to look like it's bending. The actual thing is bending. If everything was perfectly aligned, it would look like a sort of a ball effect. So yeah, actually the easier way actually was the more appropriate way, which is nice when that happens. It's not always the case. When I'm flatting, I swap between the lasso tool and the brush tool, just depending on what I'm doing. Model V asks, come centric? No. Why would you even ask that? What does that even mean? I don't even know. All right. So here, I'm going to go outside the lines because I don't want any missing spots. Yeah, that's right. I don't want any bits in between. The bits in between do my OCD draughtism head in. I don't like it. I don't want it. Okay. And then you can just, if you've set your layers up right, bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. Actually, I didn't set my layers up right. I'm an idiot. Damn it. Thought that was on a different layer. Now I've got to go back and look like an idiot in front of everyone. How many people are watching? 30 people? 14 on Rumble? Damn it. Oh, well. Happens. No chain tool D. No. I use one brush. I'm a one brush man. Always and forever. All right. I got to see what I'm... See, look. See that? That's me stuffing up right there. That shouldn't be there. What was that? I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. Is that on there? Did I do that? Ah, it's all right. It's all right. All good. We can figure it out. I think I'm not gonna have that color. I I don't want that. I'm just going to make it that color. Easy. Easy peasy. Now I'm screwing up a lot. Making me nervous, everyone. Bancroft is spite streaming over Shant. Yeah, I am. He always streams right before I wake up. And then I get up and I say, oh, Shant is streaming. And no, it's just ended. Just ended. It's all right. You can go. It's okay. Go watch Shant. The art that's taking place on Shant's stream right now is far superior. That's not even a joke. But I don't know. If you want superior art, you've come to the wrong channel, my friends. Here we're doing what I think everyone acknowledges is the most tedious part of making comic books. So I'm going to force you to all sit through it. How about that? How do you like them apples? D says, I'm going to plan a trip down to Melbourne end of Feb, early March next year. All right, we're meeting up, D. You tell us the dates. It'll all revolve around you. You tell us the dates, and we will set up a meetup. We'll get it done. We must come face to face with D. It is my will. Now, I didn't know that was on the same layer. No matter. No matter. Dying Day says, Shant just bigged up your stream. I log in and here. I'm an idiot. Jay Ryan says, is this your Warhol phase, Bancroft? I don't always flat in crazy colors. I do it when I'm not 100% sure of the final palette yet. It does make it easier. If I already know what the palette's going to be, I'll just flat in the colors that I want it to be. But in this instance, I don't know. I want to do something different because I've already had the art, the beginnings of this art before, so I want it to look different. Now we're getting in deep. Zoom in. Enhance. He says, D says, sure, once I get it sorted, I will let you know. Yeah, we got to get the Bartons in on it. We got to get Dean. Who else is in Melbourne? There are other Aussies, but they're on the other side of the country, it's a big country. Jim Cox says, I don't think Kyle says it's the most tedious part. Does Kyle even do flats? He's probably smart and has a flatter. I'm going to hire a flatter for the pages that I'm working on right now, but this is the cover that I need to get done sort of nowish, and it's a bit, I don't even know if I can ask a flatter to get this pedantic. Probably cost me an arm and a leg just to get them to do the flats. You know what I'm going to do? Okay. Better. Ray says, I'll be back in Melbourne next weekend. Rob wants to have a meetup. He wants to play poker. I don't know where. I don't know how. Like a $50 buy-in game of poker. I said I'm down, but I don't have a table. I have chips and cards. We could live stream a poker game. I like to get drunk when I play poker. Could be fun. Replicator says, Aussie's in the chat. When we do the catch up, do we do a poker catch up or a non-poker catch up? There you go. Rob's asking the question. Some people might not play poker. They might not want to play poker. I don't know. I would love to actually get a regular poker game back up and running. I used to have one, and it was a highlight of my week. I used to love doing that. Actually, we had a home game. We played for about 3 years. I never lost a single night over about 3 or 4 years. Not a single session. It was glorious. Kelsey says flatters get around $25 a page on average. I didn't think I could charge someone $25 to flat this thing, Kelsey. I just don't see it happening. I would feel like I'm engaged in slave labor. They would have to be from the Philippines or Mali, something like that, where like $25 is enough to feed a family for a week. I feel like I'm getting lost in the weeds here. I feel like I should do some more big picture stuff for you guys before I tackle this stuff. All right, let's do a bit of this. Okay. Oh, I've got access to flatters. Thanks, guys. I just was like, I'm not sending this off to a flatter. I'm just working on it myself now. On my other pages, I will engage a flatter. But yeah, sometimes you just got to get it done. When you got to get it done, you got to get it done. That's it. What's going on Rumble? Ryan Umbrella Fan says, smash the pussy. Ray says, define flatter. Exactly what I'm doing now. Just coloring in, laying down what are called the flats, which is just flat colors that define the objects in the artwork. So the colorist will then take the flats and weave his magic upon them. But they need something to weave with. Without the flats, then they got nothing. It's not really a creative job, although I suppose it could be if you trust the flatter enough, if they were to choose a color palette or something like that. But it's more just another one of those realities of making comic books. Kelsey says he's on his phone, lying in bed, butt naked, probably oiled up, dreaming of Bancroft. I may have embellished. But good to hear, Kelsey. I'm Happy to know that I have that effect on you. Awesome One says, Shant just called you the best colorist in CG. What? In front of Kelsey? I'll take it, but I don't know if I deserve it. But I'll take it. CG has a lot of very talented colorists. Kelsey Shannon, Gabe El Taib, obviously Carl Ritter, Shelby, even though he wouldn't call himself that, he is one of the best. Corey Barton's actually gotten really good of late. The stuff he's been posting, very impressive. Very impressive, Corey, if you hear that. We got Jasper in the house. Oh! Rob says, you're not even the best colorist on this stream. Ouch. That hurts, Rob. I mean, I did color your book. I don't know if you want to be saying that. Seems counterproductive. La-da-dee, la-da-da. There is actually a very cathartic, sort of mind-numbing pleasantness to flatting. You don't have to think. So often when you're making comic art, you have to think or engage your muscle memory, which can be mentally taxing. But this is not mentally taxing. It's more like a battle of will, sheer willpower. Sitting your butt down in a chair and doing it. Getting it done. Now, the reason why I want to get this done is because I want to get this thing printed, get it up onto a website for sale this month. That's the challenge I've set myself. Will I be able to do it? It's the 9th. Cutting it fine. Cutting it fine. But hey, we can try. What game are you and Camel playing tomorrow? Asked Jeremy. I don't know. Maybe Gauntlet? There's so many now that we figured out how to actually use that friggin' program. So many opportunities. So many activities we can do that are not Mario. God. I mean, I love Mario. But that was becoming a chore. I mean, you were all there, you know about it. D says that's a great game. Yeah, we'll check it out. We couldn't play some games originally because they just wouldn't load. And then I found a new way to load games, and they were all there. I think we could even play Battletoads. We got to check them out. We got to do some tests. Once we've done those tests, it's on for young and old. Ray's got a bounce. Holiday ensues. Thank you so much for popping in, Ray. I see Ray out there recently. He's getting around. It's great to have him here in the chat, leaving comments, all that good stuff. It's always great to see new faces popping in. Chippendale says, Michael, Rob would have accepted, like in those late moments of suffering, Rob would have accepted Chippendale. Lost Levels was rough. on every party involved. But we did it. We didn't quit. You can accuse Camel and I of being a lot of things, but you can't accuse us of being quitters. Jay Ryan is pointing out, maybe someone asked in the chat, I'm using these colors because they're contrasting. Correct. I won't be using them eventually, but it does still look cool-ish. I mean, it looks like something, right? It looks like a painting you could have on a wall. Actually, I went up here. I made this more trippy. Kind of hurts your eyes a little bit to look at it. I like it. I like how it came out. It's very fitting for the story I'm telling. We have 55 people in the chat. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Also, we have 11 over on Rumble. Please do give the stream a thumbs up or a plus, a rumble. Actually, I didn't even rumble my own rumble. 7 rumbles. Thank you very much. D says Battletoads. Now, that is a game I haven't heard of in a long time. I've never played it. Never. But that hasn't stopped us before. Actually quite enjoy playing games I've never played before, because then I have no excuse when I suck at them. I mean, I have a good excuse when I suck at them. When I suck at games I've played and finished before, I really have no excuse. That's just how it is. Micro says, didn't you quit one of the Mario games? No. We got to the end. We faced off against Bowser. We decided, you know what? We could easily beat this. It's just a matter of time. Why linger? Why put everyone through something when they know it's a foregone conclusion? Let's move on. Bigger and better things on the horizon. That's what happened. That's my recollection anyway. Opinions may differ. That's fine. A hive mind. Runs with Scissors asks, have I looked into stable diffusion? I don't know what that is. I'm ignorant. Apologies. Maybe you could let me know what that is. I mean, it sounds like I haven't, judging on the fact that I don't know what it is. Sounds like the name of a Lucent book, though. Maybe one too many syllables. We got Sumo Thori in the chat. Hal Sumo, I see you there. Dean says Battletoads is just a memory game. I wouldn't know. I would have thought it would be sort of like an action fighting game. So it sounds like. And people seem to love it. The wheels on the bus must be colored in. Oh, Mel told me not to sing on stream. I apologize. She says it's a bad look on her because I'm tone deaf. She thinks it'll make everyone think that she doesn't know how to pick a worthy partner in life if you all hear me sing. Fair enough. Awesome One says, you're going to put Keanu on that bus? No, look, I've already got something on here. Look, it says, actually, Eric Weathers, if he watches this, he's not here, I don't think. It says, you're not in Kansas anymore. Dun, dun, dun. What do you think of that? Little Wizard of Oz reference. I love to put them in my comics. Just little things, some little knickknacks. All right, bus is done. Onto this. That is a bright green. Let me tell you. Whew. Something else. Stings the eyeballs. All right. Jay says, a strong mate with good vocal range is a must. Well, unfortunately, I have passed on my lack of singing prowess. No, my lack of dancing prowess to my children. And they're quite upset with me. So Runs with Scissors says, so this is, what was it called again? Stable Diffusion. It's an AI program. I'm thinking about shooting this music video with miniatures and running it through the program to see how it Fs with it. Yeah, sounds cool. Awesome One says, be like EVS and put the word sex on every page. Now, you don't do someone else's shtick. You do your own shtick. And my shtick is... my shtick is long. It's adequate. I wonder if Kelsey's still here. If you are, Kelsey, do you do your own flats ever? Or do you hire people? I mean, it does seem like a waste of time. I used to admonish Corey for doing all of his own flats. And I still would. I mean, if it's just a one-off thing you just want to get done, that's fair enough. But Bretsky the Great says, Mike, did you see Wraith of God is now shadow banned on Indiegogo? I did indeed. As far as I'm aware, the shadow ban now extends to Andy, Aaron, Graham, and Ethan. It's not looking good. Just saying. I put out a tweet asking, so we know the code now, what it says. It's actually Pixel Traders on it already. It's on top of things. But I put out a tweet saying, if anyone knows how to search through campaigns, I mean, obviously it's hard to find campaigns that are shadow banned because you don't have the direct link. That's why it's so hard to search. But, you know, someone is able to do that and find that code, because that seems to be the code that keeps it from appearing for potential backers. So, yeah, that would be, because we just don't, I mean, is this an issue site wide, or is it just CG books? I mean, it's not looking good. How's your father? Why are we being shadow banned? That's a very good question. I ain't done nothing. I ain't done nothing to nobody. Just trying to make comics, sell my wares to the people. And so are all these other fine creators out there. Pig Riser is right. Malin is also shadow banned. Jasper says, I didn't want to publicly share the code in order to not give out our enemies a playbook. Well, I mean, it's the enemies have to be working for Indiegogo, so I think it's fine, Jasper. Either they're doing this on purpose or they're not. Either it's within their power to fix or it's not. You know, it's a piece of code that will exist, say, on a preview page. So it's on the preview page of my it's on the preview page of my campaign because it's not live yet. So it's there. So it's part of the website that exists. It's appearing on campaigns that it shouldn't. Well, it shouldn't appear on by all rights. But they do put it on campaigns because we read they put it on campaigns that don't get enough traction. We know that now, which I think is a bit harsh. How are you going to get more traction if no one can find it? And what's the problem anyway? You've got infinite scroll. You know, I don't see the logic behind that. But what do I know? Runs His Scissors says, Mike, look up The Red Wave is Coming. Episode 1602 thumbnail. Is that your drawing Ben Shapiro used? Is that the one I traced? Let me look at that. YouTube. Right. The Red Wave is Coming. Ben Shapiro. He's just used the same stock image that I started with. It's a stock photo. I changed mine. I changed mine quite a bit. Not enough for some. Oh well. Dirty tracer. Pork Hunt, when I search for Wrecked Planet, Electric Blue comes up. If it was targeted, that would be shadow banned also. No, the shadow ban it affects campaign to campaign. So Patrick's got is Wrecked Planet shadow banned? I wasn't aware of that. I knew Rainbow the Brute is. Let me go look. That would be bad if Wrecked Planet is. Oh my god. No, Wrecked Planet's there. Wrecked Planet's still there. But Rainbow the Brute isn't. But anyway, the code it'll either be there or it won't. So if it's not there, your campaign will appear on the site. And if it is there, it won't. Hyperwiz said Snowman apparently got unbanned. I didn't even know Snowman was. I know that people have had theirs re-indexed. Rob had his. Krishna Kid had his. Commie Mark had his with Krishna Kid. Others like that. Thank you for the super chat as well, Pork Hunt. Camel's in the house. He says Bancroft 499. What if I'd given you your flats like this, Camel? Camel would have had a conniption. I already knew the palette I was going to use because I already had Camel's reference for the local colors. So I didn't have to do that. But it would have been funny if I did. I didn't think I have to do the stuff over there. That's too far away. What do I do? Do I keep going on the glass? Let's just keep going on the glass. It's mindless, busy work. Oh, the glass is all done on there. Al Capone. Oh, Al Capone. Right, I get it. Duh. They removed Graham's campaign from the site index. HTML files was there on the 7th. Yeah. Graham, Andy, and who was the other one? Aaron. That's new. And Ethan. Rainbow the Brute. Camel says, nah, not that funny. Phil says, is this 4992? No. It's Waking Dream. Oh, and congratulations, Camel Moon, for hitting $22,000 on Boots and Heels. That's awesome. Why did my thing move? I don't like that. I like things to be neat. I like them to go full screen, please. If I can. Like so. All right, let's do. There's some glass down here we can do. Got loads of glass we can get into, guys. Loads. Don't you worry about it. Hang on. I've already done some glass previously for you. Check that out. What's this? Why is that on a separate layer? That shouldn't be on a separate layer. What am I doing? Doesn't make any sense. All right. You guys can get squashed together. Hyperwizard said, Camel, kind of stumped about what to actually draw for the contest because we don't know a whole lot about the characters in order to place them in a story or scene. The rule of cool, Hyperwizard. Yeah, Camel's got his art contest. And $1,500. I'm trying to find it, actually. If I'm talking slowly, that's just because I can't stream and think and talk and all that sort of stuff. You just have to forgive me on that. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look what we're working with here. I'll stop sharing this for a moment, and I'll share this. Here. Attention, all artists. Let's get her done. I finally figure out what you meant with that get it done. Get it done. Okay, that makes sense now. Good. The art contest rules are up. You'll have 1 month to get your pieces in. Grand prize is 1,500 schmackers. And the next Boots and Heels cover. 3D turnarounds are provided on the campaign page. There's a link to the campaign page. Submit. He's got some rules, what you got to submit at, the size and the DPI. Have your piece selected as the next cover for Boots and Heels comic. Up to 20 runners up will have their image printed in a gallery in the back of the book. That's cool. I didn't read that far. That's nice. All right, so there's the rules. All entrants must submit on Twitter at CamelMoonArt and use the hashtag GetItDoneContest. Submission does not guarantee placement. Not all entries may qualify. Judging and announcement of the winner will occur shortly after the final submission day. Winnings will be awarded once the funds are obtained by Indiegogo. There you go. Budding artists out there. These are some fun-ass characters to draw. Just do them. Just put them in a cool pose. And you'll be good. Oh, we got Mo Biggs in the house. He says, must submit on Twitter. Gate kept once again. Camel says, I wonder if the shadow ban campaigns are ones that EVS promotes. He did promote Frog G. Malin. Yeah. That's interesting. Because he like if you were to daydream and imagine there's some rogue intern in there just like, I'm gonna put this tag in this campaign because I'm gonna screw with them. Yeah, that would be, and they hate EVS. That'd be a way to do it. That's all just speculation. Mo says, not to be outdone by Rob's contest wheel, Bancroft commissioned Rob to design a new color wheel. Did indeed. We got Dave Brink in the house. Cordrath is shadow banned. Yeah, it's up to like 12 books now, I think. All CG that we know of. Dirty games, schemes and scams all around. What have I done? I've turned something off. Good. I was feeling like this wasn't colorful enough. Now it is. Now it is. Let's get her done, as camels, gators would say. American Comics says, send Foul the link. Yeah, he'll sort them out. He will ask these ladies of Indiegogo the right questions that need to get asked. I have recently secured the lucentcomic.com and painteddeath.com. So I will be, the lucentcomic.com is the one I'm hoping to get up this month. It will have a store on it, hopefully. It'll have whatever's left I've got of Waking Dream. I'll move everything off eBay onto that store. And it'll have the unedited edition. It'll have the bundle. And, God willing, I can flat fast enough. It'll have this cover on it. And that will be cool. Once that's up and running and stable and tested and everything, stop pressing the wrong buttons. I can sell t-shirts on it, puzzles. I can't sell the puzzles through eBay because their fees are ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's why I got to get off eBay. The fees are just it's highway robbery. I don't know why Ethan, who makes so much money off that site, like he could pay someone a couple of $1,000s to build a site, Shopify, and within, I don't know, a few weeks, he would make his money back on not paying eBay fees. It's freaking crazy. I was doing my taxes the other day and I was like, what are these fees? Are you kidding me? I was indignant for at least 2 minutes. And then I just moved on with my life. But then I found resolve. I said, well, this is an impetus. This is a good kick up the backside to get your site done. I've been wanting to do for so long. I found a template. I'm doing it through Wix. I found a template that I like. And yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Well, Mel will be doing it, hopefully. I'll supply the images. She'll do it, hopefully. Maybe. I might need to glance my designer's eye over it. You know what I mean? Jasper says it's the cost of doing business. This is the life we chose. Yeah. allcapscomics.com. It's got a nice ring to it. thelucentcomic.com. And then once that's done, once that's up, serving its purpose, just like Eric July before us, I have a campaign page called painteddeath.com. You following me? And that it would be like Mandy's page, or like rippaverse.com. You know, he's got Eric July, that's his website. And then he's also got the Rippaverse, that's his campaign page, a bit like that. Ryan says, ramble on, you excited hero. You are a special boy. Camel Moon points out Aquila, Prospectors, Dr. Alpha, American Bliss, Soul Tack, Unconditional Shove, not Shadow Band, not promoted thus far by Ethan on a stream. Yeah. It's a definitely an interesting theory. Mo Big says it all started when Bancroft shadow banned ARO from CG Now. It is true, I did do that. I have no one to blame but myself. Yeah, I mean, it does make the most sense. Like some butthurt coder is just watching an Ethan stream and going, yep, that one too. Why not? I don't know. I need some evidence though. Some evidence that no one else is getting the same treatment. I see. Ryan Blue Thunder. I thought he was talking to me. No, he's just posting his normal lyrics that he does. Bless him. I'm not insulted, not offended. It is what it is. Timothy Fitzgerald says, well, in that case, Billy, Rini, Narwhal, and Gabe will be next. I mean, if that happens, if this is like a way to predict who's coming, you can almost be guaranteed at that point. I mean, that's eventually you get enough circumstantial evidence that, Occam's razor kicks in. Is it Occam's razor? I believe it is. The simplest explanation is probably the correct one. I think it's that. It'd be very difficult to imagine otherwise. If you start noticing, only campaigns that are appearing on the big show. Because it's not like we put Comicsgate on our campaigns. Well, actually, here you go. Rocket was shadow banned, and actually, I searched. Rocket has Comicsgate written in the campaign. I don't know if Ethan has promoted Rocket, but it does have Comicsgate written on the campaign page. So if this theory were accurate, that might explain that. Camel Moon points out that you'd have to find campaigns that no longer can be found. I know. I think unless we have some method, like some smart coder can do that can troll the site somehow in a way that I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know how we can really know. But you would think that if people were being shadow banned, you would be hearing about it. People would be making videos. People would be yelling on Twitter. It's only us who are talking about it. So there's another thing that leads me to believe it's just us. And on top of the fact that the only other ones we have been able to find that have that same code on it are ones that qualify for, like, these are ones with no backers. So Indiegogo says if you don't get enough backers, you will also be effectively shadow banned. Oh wow, Jasper says Poulton's hidden as well. Which one, Jasper? Which campaign? Loose threads. All right. Let's go. Let's do a in-stream confirmation. Indiegogo. I got Boots and Heels loaded up first. Let's check it out. Camel's right. $22,000. Well done. Loose threads. Search. It ain't there. It ain't there. Let's do our due diligence and do at least one more thing. I mean, it would already come up. We don't have to do that. But there you go. Another one. How many is that all up? It's got to be over at 12. It's got to be a dozen. Mark Poulton. That's not how you spell it. Yeah. See, all these others are still here. Michael Deitcher. I've convinced myself just playing around with search inside Indiegogo and also with the external Google search. At this point, they have to convince me it's not deliberate and targeted. Yeah, pretty much, huh? Pretty much. Joshua 45 says it's SJWs. It's always been the SJWs. Well, unfortunately for us, the SJWs arrived seemingly with the GoFundMe Alliance, Crowdfunding Alliance, Trust and Safety Team, and the new CEO about 6 months ago. It's probably when the issues started. The censorship, the money not getting paid out. That's where it started. Money wasn't getting paid out. You had to jump through hoops to get your money. And then they were like, oh, it's because you've got violence on your page. Oh, it's a comic book. What do you want? It's because you've got this too sexy. You've got Baldo on your friggin' site. That's how it started. And now here we are. Jasper says Mark Brooks is the new CEO. If that were the case, we are well and truly screwed. Well and truly. That's hang on. Ryan Blue Thunder says he's made a loyally response. What's he written? He says, let the brown dog burning. It's burning. I know how to work these stupid games. Deep. Insightful. Learned. We have a member chat here from Mighty Geek Studios. He says, SJWs want us to fail because we don't follow their rules. We have our own rules. They're the ones we follow.
I may be down, but I'm not out. Tom Brady's never out. You broke the rules. You broke the rules. You breaking the rules. You broke the rules. You broke the rules. How you found out I broke the rules?
Are we Tom Brady or are we the football commission in this instance? that's something for the chat to figure out. Stephen Rockwood says Mandy was pretty darn smart launching the way she did. Very. Yeah, she's looking pretty good now. Like she was polite. I actually showed it on screen when she came on. She was like, "Hey, got an issue here. Can you fix it?" And then she was a little bit firmer. "Hey, get back to me. I'm a paying customer. Respond. If you don't, I'll take my business elsewhere." They never responded. So then the earrings came out, the heels came off. F you, I'm doing it myself. And then she did it, and it worked. Jasper says, this happened shortly after the Brooks confrontation. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we don't. That's the thing. We just don't know. Just don't know. But yeah, I'm not gonna be leaving. I don't think per se. I know a lot of people are like, don't give these websites money who hate you. We did that last time with Kickstarter. We sequestered ourselves into a corner of the internet, which ironically we helped grow into a really big, cool, vibrant part of the indie comic scene. Now my philosophy is get out there, get seen, be everywhere, even if they don't want you there, especially if they don't want you there. As long as they haven't kicked you off, go there. If we just sequester ourselves onto individual websites purely, I don't know if that's the way forward, personally. And plus, it's not as if every single crowdfunder can do that. If you don't have an audience, that's sort of you're dead in the water before you even begin. You don't have an audience that you can direct to your personal website, you're in trouble, Camel Moon says, it's a shame. I quite like Indiegogo and how it's laid out. Yeah, I know. Everything about it just seems so much better than what was before Kickstarter. Kickstarter just seems so archaic now. We had such a good thing going. I would even hazard to say, despite its flaws, and there are flaws, and we've tried to fix them and whatever, I really like Indiegogo as a site. I think it's a good site. So to see it go down this path, it's highly disappointing. But not surprising. We know the world we live in. This is clown world after all. Darkside Darren says, they won't kick you, but they want you to leave. Yeah, I'm aware. And I get it. I get what you're saying, Ryan. It's a 5% fee. We're paying people that don't want us there. I understand that. I think it's a lesser of two evils. Like just abandoning ship and saying, well, you don't want me here. Well, F you. I'll go, do. Go and do it by yourself as well. Like, absolutely. Do what Mandy did. I'm all on board. I don't know if just disappearing off where the majority of people are congregating to buy indie comics is the answer here. I'm sort of thinking like become undeniable. Now, you could sort of become undeniable in the sense that Eric July did. How many of us are getting 2 million views a month on our YouTube channels? Steven says, get Elon to buy Indiegogo. Yeah, he'd sort it out. Can you imagine? I mean, he could do that without blinking. He could solve all our problems. Camel Moon, Devil's Advocate. How much money is being lost by being shadow banned if we promote our own books? Lost for us to Indiegogo? I mean, I guess it's both, isn't it? Everyone's losing money with this BS. Indiegogo and creators. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. But then again, if they're SJWs, they're probably communists. And that's like pinko economics for you. Michael Deitcher, vague and arbitrary rules, arbitrarily enforced, stonewalling and silent treatment, etc. I've been through this playbook before with Twitter and others. They're showing you the door. They really couldn't be any clearer. I mean, it's as plain as day. Why aren't they answering? If it wasn't, why aren't they answering any of our emails? And by now, it must be hundreds and hundreds of emails they're not answering at this stage. Do they charge you more for in-demand Bancroft? Yes. We get charged $25 international processing fee every month that you're in demand on Indiegogo. So you're essentially paying so that you can like have a cool number up there. It says, you know, you raised X amount. Mobig says Bancroft relentlessly gatekept Sumo, and Sumo became undeniable by buying memberships. Did he? Did I miss that? Or are you talking about previously? If I missed that, that's terrible. You guys let me know if I did. I have been focused on other things. Ryan says, find that fee and give it to people who will build that for that fee, who will appreciate you. Well, I agree. Absolutely do that. Yes. Bristolian Dave says, the Indiegogo issue is a tough one. I've always been a big proponent in crowdfunding, just to being the start to going on and producing your own book without crowdfunding. Yeah, without the bigger crowdfunding platforms, it's going to be just almost, I mean, I don't want to say impossible, but incredibly difficult to get started. Incredibly difficult. Why does it have to be like this? Why can't we all just exist together? I don't know. Camel says, no, I'm saying, are we losing sales by not being findable on Indiegogo? Yes, absolutely. I think we are. I don't know how much. We've never been able to work that out exactly, but I mean, I can't imagine otherwise. People have told me on multiple occasions that they backed the book because they found it, down there on Indiegogo, and they thought, oh, that looks cool, and they backed it. So yes, and plus, ask anyone who's run a campaign, they'll tell you when that algorithm kicks in and starts promoting your book, the backers start coming in like crazy. So all right, I gotta catch up with the chat here. Oh, Sumo Thori, maybe he heard me. But he's gifted me 5 memberships. Absolute legend. Sumo.
You little ripper! Thanks, lads.
Hail. Thank you very much. Mega Man, Elkin, Jake the Mus, Richard Bollard, and Lethal Diva. Welcome. Hope you give a tip of your hat to Sumo there. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat here. Justice for Sumo, says Mo Biggs. Justice served, hopefully. Hojo's here, says Halbogans and Brigands. The mythical sign-up is already at 100. Excellent. Fantastic. Well done. Mortal V says 69sexcamwhore.com has become a member. Michael Deitcher, it really hurts the little guy. Having to float your expenses with an uncertain final customer count is tough unless you have a big slush fund. Yeah, it really affects people who don't have a big audience already established or a YouTube channel to promote their link every day. I mean, how are you going to get seen by people who aren't already following you? That's the question. Without these big crowdfunding platforms, how do you get found by people who aren't already looking for you? It's very disheartening, I think. Simply Green has joined us on Rumble with another 12 other Rumblers. Hail, all you Rumblers. He says, see the Anon independent speech. We aren't tied to a site. Yeah, we shouldn't be. We've been tied to a single site for too long. And I mean, I don't think it's a disaster or anything, but it's certainly affecting us. We will overcome. But yeah, let's spread our wings and get out there. Do it ourselves. Get onto other platforms. There's Crowdfunder now. Crowdfunder.com. No E. That's a new site. There's Zoop. Brian Kriskow didn't fund on Zoop, but that doesn't mean others won't or can't. Hojo points out that Luke Stone is building his own crowdfunding platform. Once Pixel Trader found the Shadowban tags, enough was enough. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that looks and functions and how secure it is and everything. Yeah, I'm holding judgment essentially until I get a look at it. And sort of people who are smarter than me can check it out. Because to me, it seems like a very difficult prospect to just start a crowdfunding site that others can open an account in and set up a crowdfund. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. And if I am, I'll eat my sombrero. I won't. Metaphorically, in Minecraft, I'll eat it. Mortal V says, why do I picture Michael drawing Rob getting cut up by glass on his private version of this? Because you have a sick mind, Mortal V. as we've already learnt through your many avatars. Mo Big says, Zoop is spelt backwards is poos. Is that a sign? I'll let others decide. I think more than anything, it's probably a site. Everyone wants a short, pithy name that they can name their business so they can get a URL. That's probably the only one left. Hojo says Tug's web guy contacted me out of the blue. We started talking. Yeah, he's been in the chat a little bit. I sent him over to Luke because my eyes started to glaze over with all the technical details. Yeah, that's right. All we can do is wait and see. I don't know what these guys are talking about when they get into it. I can do a bit of HTML. Will that help? I know how to get a GIF onto the Indiegogo page. I don't think that's going to be enough. I don't think that's going to cut it. So whatever happens, we need to get smart. We need to get smarter. We need to get smarter with our marketing and our SEO and our digital footprint. We've been a little lackadaisical. I just want to use that word. I feel a little bit just, this is how it's done. Let's just keep doing it this way. We need to rattle the cage a bit. See what we can come up with. Hyper Wizard, yeah. Every tech startup wants a new nebulous nonsense word like Voom or Bibi or Hib. Yeah, they were making fun of that on one of my favorite shows. Silicon Valley. And they didn't like his name, which had a bit more meaning to it, which was Pied Piper. It was a running gag. It was a good show for a while. They always say, like, we want to make the world a better place through integrated digital expansion, stuff like that. Or as Dying Day says, or you can just drop a vowel. Yeah, crowdfunder, no E. You got to crowdfund that E if you want it. So much broken glass. Did you know all this broken glass had to be individually colored in? Did you ever did you ever stop to think about that when you're looking at a page of art? Some poor schlub had to sit there and color all that in. Mo Big says, we need a creator-controlled platform. Yes, the CCP will always know what's best for us. John says, cop our cocks. Creator-owned platforms for our creator-owned comics. Add to CG Now, Ask American Comics. Well, I'd like to keep CG Now with its specific purpose. I mean, it's got the name CG Now. I think when things want to be everything for, like, too much for all things to all people, start to lose their. I don't know. And plus, I ain't doing things. Very carefully gate kept. Exactly. I am the gatekeeper. I decide. Me and my council of learned CGers will decide whether or not we think you promoted to Comicsgate during your crowdfunding phase. Tyrants that we are. This is a big piece of glass I drew. It's all right. Happens. Who gatekeeps the gatekeepers? Who's asking that question? Michael Deitcher says, my indie ventures in the tech world always run afoul of the same. Couldn't raise enough money. Couldn't reach enough of the right people. I might do better now, but I retreated back into the corporate industry. Liam's in the chat. He says, wasn't that my crime? I think that's the laughy face. Oh. See, the thing is, you got to do it on your own website. And then it's just like, I'm a private company. I can do what I want. We got Finn in the house. Hail, Finn. Dine Day says, can you extend the CG's launch calendar to have the sign-up blurbs and output them to a monthly email like news flashes? Maybe I can do the email. Yes. That's a good idea. I'll look into that. I can't do the blurb. It's a very basic calendar. It's an app, plug-in app for a Wix site. So I would love to have it more graphic, but I don't know. No one's made that app yet. And I'm not going to code it myself. Actually, someone tried to help me with some coding on the site a while back, and it just wouldn't gel with the Wix sort of base code, which was very unfortunate, because that would have meant that we would have been able to have the campaigns on the homepage, the books for sale, randomized every time you refresh it. That would have been cool, but couldn't get it to work properly. I tried my hardest. But that's a good idea, actually. Thank you. Dying Days. A newsletter you can subscribe to, and just once a month or whatever, maybe twice a month probably. You can get notified of what's coming up. But then that would require me making sure it was always up to date, which I don't think it is currently. I need to get onto that. I'm getting dizzy here. Are you all getting dizzy? I will be flatting this book well into the night. I think I'll be flatting this till about 11 p.m. I reckon. There's a lot of little bits and bobs in it. It is currently 8 o'clock. I will have a dinner break. We got Phil Diaz in the house. Phil will be joining us on Friday night to do a deep dive into the Lost Pages 2. And we can check out his sign up for Lost Pages 3. I did want to make the deep dives videos because I think that's a better format for sharing our comics out there to the world. Unfortunately, I just don't have time for that. I don't have time to do what I need to do. If I'm going to make a video, I want to just pull up some tabs and just go. I don't want to have to get a comic out and read it and, make sure I'm being whatever it is, making it worth its while. I don't want to do anyone dirty. So I think it's going to have to be on live streams, which is fine. We get the creator on and chat about it. I don't think that's a piece of glass. What am I doing? That was silly of me. Awesome One says, learn to code and touch grass. Sumo says, there's got to be a more efficient way to color all those glass shards. There's probably someone quicker at it. You could use the lasso tool. I find with these little things, I prefer the brush. But other than that, I mean, there's no way around it. You got to color them in. There's nothing else you can really do. Got to get done. As far as I'm aware, anyway. People in the chat talking about cocks. It's good to see. Phil says, could always cut the streams down for a video again. I mean, someone could. I'm not going to do that, though. But that is a good idea. I do like it when people do that. Damn it. Mo posted an emoji of me and an emoji of Rod in Rod We Trust. And quoted me saying, I don't want to do anyone dirty. I stand by what I said, Mo. Jasper gave me a great idea the other day in a video, which I'm totally going to do, which is to do process books. I'm going to do that with Fractured Mind, so on one page, you got the layouts, and then sitting next to that, you got the pencils, and then you turn the page, and then you got the inks, and then on the next page, you got the colors. So it's a gallery book. It's for the arts. You can see the process. I think that'll be super cool. Very cool. And Rod's, his pencils are great. His layouts are. It's cool to see the process. I'm excited about that. John says, okay, how do you get flatting as a word out of that process? Well, because you're making flats. So these are the flats here. So look at this. Terrible flats I'm making here. That is not what you want. These are the flats. This psychedelic thing here. So to get the flats, you flat. When you're in the process of making the flats, you are flatting. Flat colors, no shading. So, yeah, before anyone starts coloring, first you need the flats. Whew. All right. Well, all right. Cool. Now, what do I want to do here? I'm going to come over here. Now, are these separate? What are they? No, that's part of that. Good. Just what I wanted. Camel says, I prefer to call them prepubescent colors. That is disturbing. Mortal V says, wow, guess I can't be that mean to Bancroft on YouTube or Rumble, even with a wrench. Why? People are using gamer words over on Rumble in the chat. Finatra says, golden gay ass. Oh, so Mortal V used a gamer word on Rumble, and then he refreshed. He called me Simply Green just called me a bundle of sticks, and it's staying there. But I don't know. I don't want to refresh it because it does. No, when you refresh, it just deletes the chat. It doesn't save the chat. So maybe that's it. He'll just call me a penis monger on YouTube or a cock goblin. Camel Moon expounds on his prepubescent colors. These colors haven't blossomed into the beautiful array they're about to become. Okay. I accept that. They are about to become something beautiful, something grand. But I guess you just have to wait and see. I don't know. I don't know the rules over there on Rumble in the rant. I mean, it says you can rant. It says you're allowed to rant. It's called a Rumble rant. But we got 17 people watching over on Rumble. How many on YouTube? Whoa, 70 people. It's almost 100 all told. I'll just count it 100. If you guys could please like the stream or give it a rumble. A plus sign. And as well, if you could make sure you are subscribed and have that notification on. It is damn hard to get notifications on YouTube. I tell you what. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just you get what you get and you don't get upset. That's what I tell my kids when they start whinging. And that's what YouTube says to me when I'm like, yo, can I get some of my subs a notification who've put the bell on? Because they're always telling me, oh, I just got the notification and you're ending, or I didn't get the notification. And I'm careful. I try not to put too much out there because I know you only get so many notifications a day. It's like an allowance. Mummy YouTube gives you an allowance of notifications that you're allowed during the day. I try not to abuse the system. Hyper Wizard, you get what you get in Russian roulette. Mo says, Bancroft, I went to your Rumble stream and that's a bundle of sticks. Comment is still in the chat. Yeah, I read it. I know. Yeah, Finachus is there. All right. Mortal V is going to test the word by itself. What word's that? McDouchenstein? He can't say wiener? Did you guys see? Did you see all the people who went over to? Oh, it starts with M. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's some alternative Twitter site. And they were like, hi, I guess we're here now because Twitter's for fascists. Great to meet you. And they were just getting at Mastodon. Yes. They were getting pummeled, absolutely pummeled by gamer words, let's call them. I mean, I haven't seen the likes of that since 2010 YouTube. It's crazy. I think they'll all be coming back to Twitter. Between you and me, they're like, oh, we went out into the wild of the internet and it was so much worse than what we were used to. It was pretty nuts. Yeah, old school 4chan stuff. Yeah. People are like, oh, these racists over here. I'm like, they're not racist. They're just trolling you. They want to turn you into a lol cow. I don't know. I'm like Gen X. I grew up when there weren't really any actual racists around. That was all solved. Young kids don't realize that. When we grew up, no one cared about any of that. No one ever spoke about race. It was really gauche. It's like, why would you bring up someone's race? That's friggin' weird. Who does that? D says it's decentralized. It has a common protocol that connects up different instances. That's actually something that I want to set up for my site. You know, if I run all these different crowdfunding campaigns on different sites, I would like one hub that you can kind of count them all up and say how much you've raised. I think that would be wicked. That would be cool. I wouldn't be able to do that, of course. I would need someone smarter than me to facilitate, but surely that sort of thing can be done. I'm imagining anyway. Mo says, why would you bring up someone's race? Meanwhile, Bancroft trained his dog to be racist, to attack Asians. No, that wasn't me. That was whoever had the dog before us. And it was hardwired in her at that point. We couldn't get it out. It was like that was part of who she was at that point. It was too deep, too ingrained. Do you want to become a flatter for Comicsgate? get your details out there and let people know that you want to join the exciting world of flatting comics. There's a lot of growth in this industry. A lot of people need your skills. Dying Day says maybe the dog's previous owner was Asian. No, they were actually relatives of ours, and they kept her chained up under a house in Queensland. Well, Dying Days, you might actually be from Queensland. Well, anyway, there's a lot of houses on stilts, and yeah, she was under the house because the house was on stilts, just chained up to one of the pillars, and she tried to chew her way through the chain, so she had no teeth. She wasn't a black dog, Mo. She was a border collie kelpie cross. Let's see if I can find that. The two smartest dogs in the world. Not smart enough to get her way out of that chain, though. She was a long hair. Maybe she wasn't that. No, she was. Long hair. Actually, I've never actually really ever seen a dog that looked like her out there. I guess, all right, this image here is probably the closest I'm going to find, except you got to picture her 3 times as fat. All right, Camel's out of here. Game show tomorrow, everyone. We'll let you know what we're playing before. Yeah, it was really sad, Perth. She had no teeth. We were just there to sort of, look after her and give her a nice home. We got her when she was 7 or 8, so she had a very, very nice life for the 4 or 5 years that we had her. Sumo says, does the unsubscribe 328 on the top of the Rumble chat mean that many people unsubbed? No, that means you are subbed, Sumo. And that 327 like-minded individuals did the same. Yeah. So imagine a dog that looks like this, but 3 times as fat. Like, she was the laziest dog you could ever imagine. Hated walking, hated exercise, loved food, but just spent her days on my mum's bed. And considering the beginning of her life, we were happy to give her that privilege. But yeah, she hated Asians. She hated them. She see an Asian walk by the house, like all of a sudden this lethargic, doesn't care about anything dog would jump up. Mo says Bancroft gave her a Jackie Chan chew toy. I didn't. I don't know what it was about, but yeah. That was Georgie, her name was. My mother would call her Georgie, Porgy, Puddin' and Pie. How's your father? Says stop the Asian hate hashtag. Yeah, please do. Well, she's passed on now, so her reign of terror has ended. It went on far too long, I'm afraid. Nothing we could do about it. That was just who she was at that point. We don't know if it wasn't warranted. We don't know. We know nothing about her history other than she was clearly abused. Dying days. Poor thing, chained up all her life. Bancroft calls her lazy. I mean, like, she didn't like doing things like walking or stuff like that. That's what I mean. I mean, I'm not saying like she should have been out there doing some work, but for a working, I mean, it's two working dogs bred together. You would imagine that she would be a little bit more energetic, but no. But then again, you know, maybe she's like, they are incredibly smart dogs. So she just figured, hey, I'm going to lie here and you're going to feed me. So you're going to feed me whether or not I do anything anyway. So why would I do anything? Wrong. Portal V says, I adopted two cats and was two cats that were abandoned and abused. One died from a heart defect. The other, for the most part, was good. She was the only cat I've seen that will go from asleep to jump up and hiss out of the blue. Must be having nightmares or something. Mel and I haven't had pets. The only pets we've had were we wanted some animals that wouldn't live too long and were cheap and easy to look after and were cute. So, of course, we got rats. Rats make amazing pets. So we went down to the pet shop and I picked out two of what I thought were the cutest rats. There was I think it was black and white, two girls, and one that was gray, and it had a bite out of its ear. Out of its ear. So we called that one Nibbles. Nibbles was incredibly intelligent, which rats are known to be. The other one, Lily, wasn't as intelligent, and she was kind of mean. She would bite you from time to time. So we didn't know what was going on, obviously, when Lily started getting really fat all of a sudden and more bitey. She wouldn't let you go near her. She would start to bite you. And one day it was real. I remember it was stinking hot. It was 45 degrees or 46 degrees or something. And I was at work. That's Celsius, by the way, which I think is about 110, 115. And we didn't have aircon in the house. So it was probably like, 35 in the house. And I had to go. So I said to my boss, I've got to go back and check out the rats. Just make sure they're okay. Because it's so hot. And I went back and it was like coming back to a murder scene. I didn't know what was happening, but there was blood everywhere. It was crazy. And it was just, I just remember how hot it was. And I just look into the cage and I'm expecting to see, I know one of the rats is like, yeah, there's only one left and the other one's ripped apart. That wasn't it. The fat one, obviously, in hindsight, was pregnant when we got her. When I got them, there was a cage for the females and a cage for the males, and they were sort of close. A male and a female must have, well, my rat and a male must have gotten up, like she must have backed up on the cage, and he did her through the cage. So by the time I got her, she was already pregnant. So I get there, and it was really bad. This rat was nesting, and it kept trying to make its pregnancy nest, and I kept wrecking. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop doing that. And I you know, that's why it was biting me, because I was wrecking her nest. But so, and like I said, she wasn't a smart rat. She built her nesting thing at the top of the cage, so she was popping out these little jelly beans, and they were falling to the bottom of the cage. So there was blood everywhere. There was all different levels of a cage. They were hanging everywhere. There was blood everywhere, and I'm freaking out. So I call my boss. I'm like, I can't come back to work. I've got these bloody jelly beans everywhere. And what am I going to, I mean, I've gone from having 2 rats and my first 2 rats to now I think she gave birth to 12 rats or something like that. It was crazy. So I'm picking out these jelly beans. I didn't know anything about birth and rats. And, you know, I don't know if you're supposed to touch them. I don't know anything, but I'm like, I've got to get them safe. So I get a shoebox and I put some padding in it and stuff, and I collect them all out, and then I'm cleaning the blood off the cat. I mean, it's blood everywhere. It was like a friggin' horror movie. And eventually it's all clean. They're in there, and I'm counting them up, and she's got them all in there. I don't know if they're milking yet, but whatever. Can't really remember. And I count them up. That night, they're all safe. Like, I don't know, whatever it was, 12 rats and the mother. 12 little beanie babies. They're transparent pink things. And they need to be transparent because you can see, well, they don't need to be. They are transparent. You can see whether or not they're getting any milk because you can see the milk, the white milk inside their bellies visually. Mo says Bancroft couldn't handle the responsibility, so he just released his psychotic rats into the wild. Days later, his neighbor was set on fire under mysterious circumstances. Now, Hyperwiz said, don't they eat them if you touch them? That happens with hedgehogs. Yeah, so, well, I woke up the next morning and there was 1 rat missing. No, I subsequently learned through the internet, no, you can touch them, but just don't touch them much. But if the mother is too hungry or just she feels like there's too many, she will kill them and eat them. And that's what she did. So, yeah, she ate one of her children. She feels like she needs the sustenance to be able to feed the others. Yeah, so that's what she did. Like, she was a brutal rat. Thanks, Mum. Thanks for eating me on the night of my birth. Stephen Rockwood has a bogan chat here. He says, great, horrifying story. Thanks for the nightmares. Yeah, really rough. So we're thinking, what are we going to do with these 11 rats or 12 rats, whatever it was? And we tried giving them away. Lo and behold, people don't want rats, believe it or not. They find them gross. We tried to convince people, no, they're actually really cute. Yeah, we could only give away, I think we gave away 2, maybe 3 to my sister. But then we were stuck with the rest. But what we ended up doing is we got an IKEA bookshelf with glass doors, and I ended up cutting out, so you got a shelf, I cut out half of the shelf so it could, like, you imagine a shelf, it could pop down like that so they could run up. and then we had to sex them eventually. So we know we had to separate the girls from the boys. So the boys were down the bottom, and luckily enough for the boys, there were only 3 boys, but the rest were girls. So the boys had this palace down to themselves, and the girls were up the top, and we had this bookshelf of rats. We called it the Rat Tower, and yeah, we had that for years and years. The rats lived for a couple of years at least. Funnily enough, the rat that outlived all of them was Nibbles, the first rat, part of the first 2 that we got. And yeah, I can't remember all their names. You know, there was the boys. There was Marshall, Socks. No, I'd have to. Mel would remember them. I've probably got photos of them somewhere. Mo Biggs, take these rats. They're really cute. Beckcroft reminds me of the guy in Poltergeist who built the house on the graveyards. Stephen Rockwood says Australia is such a bizarre place. No, not really. People keep rats all over the world, but they were great pets. And Mel would actually go out walking sometimes with one of them on her shoulder. She was like the rat woman. Rat Tower was similar to the Ivory Tower, yes, in Pro B. Nibbles did prevail. You're right, Hyper Wizard. Stephen Rockwoods, they weren't filthy, disgusting rats. They were good, clean rats. They're very cute, very cute. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, they all started, you know, they get old and they start dropping off. So I had on that house, I had like a rat graveyard, and you know, I would bury them side by side with all their brothers and sisters and nieces and uncles and everything. Good, clean, cannibalistic rats. Yeah, it was an interesting time of our life when we had rats. You know, it was fun. It was fun. I think I'm done for the stream. I'm not drawing anymore. I got to go in and have some dinner. Michael Deitcher for 2. Congratulations, you've outdone the Shane stories. Well, that's how Pet Cemetery started. A few kids find the graves. I know, right? No, I suggest them. If you've got kids, get some rats. They make good pets. They're quite cute. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'll probably put out a video tomorrow because I'm doing the Camels game show and Rob's show. We got to figure that out actually, because I think the time, you know, the daylight savings has changed time, so we got to figure that out. But thank you very much for watching. This is coming along. This is going to be a sick cover. Believe me, it's going to be the best. I like it. I like it a lot. It's going to look very cool. All right, guys. Yes, thank you. You are, as always, the most incredible, amazing, spectacular, and phenomenal, sexiest chat in all of CG. I will see you on the next one. Until then, hope you have a great night. All right, bye.
Individually, we are weak, like a single twig, but as a bundle, we form a mighty